Hello, Jessica here from All the Sparkle with my first entry to the 5th Altenew video challenge. The theme for this challenge is anything goes, so I created a spring-themed card using the origami and golden garden stamp sets. To start my card, I prepped a piece of watercolor paper with my powder tool, and then stamped several flowers from the golden garden stamp set around the right side and bottom of my card with VersaFine. Once I was happy with the arrangement, I embossed my flowers with clear embossing powder. Then it was time to color. I used 5 Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers and a water brush on my card. My method for using zigs is fairly simple. I color along the edges of the flowers and then use a water brush to blend the color inward. You'll notice that I work on a stack of cheap copy paper. The paper has just enough give that it helps me stamp cleanly, and I have a surface that I can use to clean off my water brush in between colors. Just as a recycling tip, I keep all of my scrap copy paper and will reuse it once it's dry for general household shopping lists and crafting card sketches. As you can see, I've sped up my video so that my coloring process doesn't take forever. I love how easily the zig markers blend with a water brush on good watercolor paper. I've tried lots of watercolor paper, but my favorite is definitely the Arches Cold or Hot Press 140-pound paper. The colors should move easily when you start to blend with a water brush, so if you're finding that the colors aren't moving, you might try using a different paper. I set my background panel aside to dry while I worked on the rest of my card. I stamped the hummingbird from the origami stamp set onto a piece of gold shimmery cardstock with VersaFine and heat embossed it with clear embossing powder. I fussy cut my bird and went over the cut edges with a black marker to give it a finished look. Next, I took a piece of vellum, prepped it with a powder tool, and stamped a sentiment from the origami set with Versamark. I heat embossed the sentiment with gold embossing powder and then trimmed it down to a 3/4 inch wide strip. I made sure to leave enough overhang so that I could secure the vellum behind the card panel so that I wouldn't have any adhesive showing on the front. Then it was time to assemble my card. As I mentioned earlier, I attached the sentiment strip to the card by gluing the ends of the strip to the back of the panel. I wanted my hummingbird to have a little dimension, so I actually attached him to my card with foam mounting tape. I adhered my card front to a white card base with my ATG gun adhesive. I use 110-pound cardstock for my card bases to help keep my watercolor paper flat. Finally, I decided that my card needed a little extra sparkle, so I added a sprinkling of Glass Slipper's sparkling clear sequins from the ton to the front of my card with glossy accents. I arranged them on my card front first and then glued them down once I was happy with the layout. And here's my finished card for the Altenew video challenge. You can find more photos and a detailed supply list by visiting my blog or checking out the video description below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. You can also find more of my creations by clicking on any of the social media links below, and my most recent video is also linked. Thanks so much for visiting and have a wonderful day.